Hi. Today what we are going to see is whether India is having a kind of technology what Israel is having. Like now recently you might have seen in a video or in a news bulletin about the concept called Iron Dome. That's nothing but a missile defense shield what Israel is possessing. So when I went for a bit of research, in India also our DRDO has developed same kind of technology in India. It is not only the new one. In fact, we have achieved this technology almost a decade before, around 2004-5, and we have went for a what do you call it, drastic method of testing, and final stages are there right now. By 2020, DRDO has announced this air defense shield technology in India reached final stage. It is just a matter of time. We need to go for the deployment. Okay. So let us talk about what is this air defense shield or ballistic missile defense mechanism. So before going into that, we need to know what do you mean by ballistic missile. Ballistic missile means it's a kind of fire and forget missile. The moment the missile is launched, the person who is launching it doesn't have any control over the missile, because the missile will take its own trajectory based on gravity as well as the basic physics. Okay, nobody can have the control. So that kind of missiles are normally considered as a ballistic missiles. So when an enemy country is launching a ballistic missile towards India, and Indian radar systems should monitor them properly well in advance, and they should detect their speed and exact direction, and automatically the missile defense shield system should launch automatic another missile from our system. That missile should travel much more higher speed than the enemy missile, and that should meet the enemy missile somewhere in the middle of the sky and destroy it. So the whole gamut of missile defense shield or missile defense mechanism is nothing but advanced monitoring with the help of advanced radar system, and launching automatic missile from our ground and meet the enemy's missile in the middle of the sky, so that the enemy's missile will never reach the ground and lead to the casualties. So Indian ballistic missile mechanism, it has been given a name as Prithvi air defense. Prithvi, we all know that the Prithvi is a kind of surface to surface ballistic missile what we have achieved long back. In the same name we had given here, that is Prithvi air defense. So this Prithvi air defense is having two stages. The first stage deals about if the missiles are coming from the range of around 2000 kilometer range, so how to prevent them, how to attack them and destroy them. Second stage is if the missiles are coming from 5000 kilometer range, how to detect them and destroy them. Okay, suppose if we take our own enemy countries, if you take the list of enemies for India, the primarily it goes for Pakistan and China. Suppose if the Chinese want to attack India through the missile, ballistic missile, they need to have a minimum range of missile at least 3000 kilometer and above, so that the missiles can reach India and attack us. So if the India want to have a missile defense protective mechanism like Prithvi air defense, then we need to have a missile mechanism, that air defense mechanism, in which we can launch the missile at the hypersonic speed, so that we can reach the enemy missile somewhere in the middle of the sky, higher than the speed in which they are traveling it, and we can detect them and destroy them. That's the whole idea behind it. So here the hypersonic missile means what? The missile which can travel at the rate of higher than the speed of the sound. Particularly hypersonic means it should be 5 times the speed of the sound. So normally if any object, if it is traveling at the speed of the sound, it is considered as 1 Mach. 1 Mach, M-A-C-H. Mach is a number. It indicates the object is traveling at the speed of the sound. The speed of the sound is nothing but 330 meters per second. Okay, if you roughly calculate, it goes for around 1200 kilometers per hour. Okay, on speed of sound. So if any missile, if it is traveling 5 Mach, that means 5 times the speed of the sound, it is called hypersonic missile. So under Prithvi air defense, what we have deployed hypersonic missiles. Keep it in your mind. So it is a hypersonic missiles will be in a ready position, and our radar systems will monitor around 2000 kilometer range in and around India. If any enemy missiles are coming inside Indian air territory, automatically the Prithvi air defense will launch the hypersonic missile These missiles will exactly identify the enemy's missile speed and directions and reach them, attack them, and destroy them in the middle of the air. Okay, so as of now, this technology was achieved by DRDO with the help of various Indian institutions like Bharat Electronics and Bharat Dynamic Limited and others. And it is done for the various stages of testing. It is completely done. So as per the DRDO statement, we have achieved the complete status by 2020. So it is just a matter of time for the government approval to go ahead with the deployment for in and around India. So now the DRDO also come up with a plan called floating testing range, FTR, that is called FTR. Why means because right now we are testing a missiles only from the Wheeler's Island. It's otherwise called Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island. After the demise of former president, the island name was rechanged. The name was changed into APJ Abdul Kalam Island. So this is the island we have a testing range for all kind of missiles. Even though it is an island, we don't have a full-fledged freedom to test it with a 360-degree manner because there are nearby the human settlement. But the DRDO has come up with a plan. It is called floating test range. That means we can create an artificial test range in the middle of the sea. Okay. So from there, we can launch it in 360-degree so that our testing maneuver will be perfect. And once these testing ranges are established properly, even from there we can launch these Prithvi air defense. You just imagine it, we have Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. India is almost three sides, it's covered by sea. So in these places and multiple locations, what we can do, we can establish a floating testing range. From this floating testing range, we can integrate with Prithvi air defense. So in the near future, the entire Indian domain, all the major cities and all the major installation, the high security zones within India, will come under the network of Prithvi air defense. Suppose if any future launch done by any enemy countries, any missiles, automatically our Prithvi air defense will detect them and destroy them in the middle of the air. Okay, and another most important point is this kind of technology as of today, which is available only with the four countries. One is US, second is Russia, third is Israel, and fourth is India. So in that aspect, we can proudly say we are fully developed, fully prepared to meet any kind of future challenge in terms of missile warfare. Thank you. See you once again.